I really like discussing abstract concepts and asking questions, beyond surface level. So when I stumbled upon the Open Day for Philosophy, I discovered that I really liked it. Speaking to one of the student ambassadors, they really convinced me to take it.
Originally, I found the Metaphysics of God module really interesting because it allows you to question if God does exist or not, and to critique if he does exist or not. And I found that to be interesting because people commonly assume that you can't criticise that because it's such an important topic. Every topic in philosophy allows you to question things that are assumed to be common knowledge. So we question, for example, what makes knowledge, like perception.
So we do a new topic every lesson, so we have to begin the lesson by describing keywords and concepts we're unfamiliar with. Then we go into the big argument. We have a class discussion about that. We get into the counter arguments, we go backwards and forwards, and it's sort of like that for an hour.
Lots and lots of debates. Lots of people ask different questions and raise different points. I think in a philosophy lesson it's really important to be open-minded because lots of people will say things that you don't necessarily agree with. So instead of attacking them and being like, well, you're wrong, you have to provide an argument that is actually not criticising them, rather than it's instead being supportive. I like the essay writing because I think it's different from anything you do before, especially at GCSE. You haven't really got much range at GCSE to provide your own opinion on things, whereas in philosophy you really can put forward your point of view in an essay and argue that and defend it really clearly.
I do quite like the class discussion and the class environment, specifically with the subject of epistemology, which is the what is knowledge topic, where you discover what is knowledge and how do you acquire it. So the class discussions become really interesting. That's something I really enjoy. So after each test, my teacher compiles a booklet full of strengths and weaknesses on each individual question across the board from the whole department. He also adds in example questions of varying different marks, so you can see which essays are good, which ones are bad. Before each topic as well, he gives us online resources to help with our revision outside of lesson, and every 2 weeks we use intervention slots where we go back in time and recap everything we used to do.
Lots of exam practice, lots of websites that we can use to support our learning, a lot of independent study as well. But in the class, the teacher's very supportive and very full on with our learning.
I think if you compare it very closely to psychology, because that's probably the two subjects that the person's going between, psychology is very much how the mind works and why someone does what they're doing. Philosophy is sort of the bigger behind everything. If you really want to get to the bottom and discover maybe, what is knowledge, people in psychology apply knowledge already. We ask what knowledge is.
I think you have to have good critical thinking skills because lots of the topics in philosophy are a bit difficult, especially as you go on in the course. It gets a bit challenging. So you have to be able to critically think and analyse and evaluate things. Philosophy at the University of Bristol.
So I've applied to do law at all the universities. I was considering doing law and philosophy for some time, but I did decide to focus in on just the one subject. But I know philosophy can be applied to a wide range of subjects.